And one of the reasons that the national polls, there are two reasons that the national polls are tied. One reason that the national polls are tied is because Romney is racking up a huge vote in the South. And he could have one of the highest margins of any candidate in a long time in the southern United States. But that makes the national polls look closer than the Electoral College looks. And if you look at the targeted states, and we just released this week new polling in New Hampshire and Ohio that shows the race of Obama ahead by a small margin, but still ahead. If you look at the battleground states, you're seeing in most of those states Obama a couple of points ahead. It all depends on the ground game. And it's going to be very, very important that we get our vote out to vote. And I will say this, it's not going to be just important in elections in the battleground states, which is going to be critical, but it's going to be important in states like New Jersey too. And besides the good people that you saw in San Marie in terms of getting them elected, the other thing is, frankly, if we don't want to be in a situation where we win the Electoral College and don't win the popular vote, we have to get the popular vote out in non-battleground states. So everything you're doing is going to create an enormous advantage, because forget about the challenges and the suppression, all of that, which would be serious enough. We don't want the legitimacy of this presidential election challenge. We've had enough of STEM, we've had enough of redefining rape and all these positions that who would have imagined were possible. And we need an administration that has a solid win so that we have a mandate to go into the kinds of progressive policies that all of us care about. The second reason the election was close for a while was women voters. Women voters, particularly after the first debate, they think that things are not very good in the country. They tend to be more volatile voters. They decide later, they pay attention later. I'll remind you of 2010, where we had women voting Democratic by 9 points in September, 5 points in October, and women went 1 point Republican for the first time in 47 years in November. So women have always been more swing. Well, women, bless their hearts, they liked the first date, but he didn't wear very well after that. And we've all been on dates like that, right? The more they see of Romney, the less they like. And so women are coming back to Barack Obama and the presidency, thank God. And I see you nodding your head like, yes, thank you. But call your sisters, your aunts, your friends in any of those battleground states and make sure they're coming home. The president's strongest trait is having an advantage on standing up for the middle class. Unfortunately, what that is doing is contributing to character and liking him. It is not contributing to being perceived as being very good on the economy. And voters are really still toying at the very end here about whether they give a businessman a shot, because quote-unquote businessmen know how to create jobs. The question, of course, is for whom and at whose cost.
And where.
And where. That's right, too. Exactly.